Hello and welcome to another review. This is Brand X Reviews. Today we are going to be looking at the XFiles TV series. Now, to put this into context, the TV series it ran for 9 series and it began in 1993 in America. But in the UK we didn't get this until 94, so we had to wait a year. Terrestrial viewers, that is. The other option was if you had satellite television, Sky TV. They aired it quite a few months, maybe 6 months before each time the BBC would show it. So if you had Sky, you didn't have to wait as long. But you pay an arm and a leg for Sky back then, which is like you still do today. So nothing changes really. But so yeah, if you wanted to watch the series, you'd have to wait a long time. This was a series with a lot of hardcore followers, like myself. I was one back in the day, and you would hear things, reading magazines, that kind of thing, about things that are happening in the episodes in America, and you'd have to wait like a whole year to see them. Now, availability of the series wasn't the same back in the 90s as well. Today you can download things, you can watch them online, you can order DVDs of things off Amazon or whatever. So today things like Game of Thrones, all these I don't watch that, but I know it's a popular thing like the X-Files was. If you're a fan of that, fairly easy. You don't have to wait too long to get hold of it, and you can buy it in a box set, and they're usually fairly cheap. Now this wasn't the case with most TV series or any TV series back in the 90s. You would have to wait a long time, and they were quite expensive even by today's standards. A series of 24 episodes I think the X-Files had 24 episodes in some of the early series, and the box sets would go for like £80 in the shops, which is a lot of money really for just one season. I think because tapes were a lot more expensive to manufacture. And bear in mind this was the 90s, this was that's how much it was in the 90s. So. But that was the whole series anyway. They didn't even release the X-Files, full box sets, like you could buy series 1 in a full box set on tape. That wasn't until around about 1997, and by then the series had been running for 3 or 4 years. So it was a bit of a waiting game to get these on. If you wanted to own them, you'd have to watch them on TV and record them, which I did. Not ashamed to admit that. But there was a way around it with some episodes. The 2-parter episodes, those are the ones where you have an episode and it ends on a cliffhanger to be continued, and then the next episode kind of is the final part of that little story. Because most episodes of the X-Files were just your standalone episodes, but occasionally they'd have like a 2, maybe even a 3-parter. That sometimes it was the middle of a series, sometimes they'd end a series on one episode with a cliffhanger, and then the next series would pick up directly, and that'd have 1 or 2 episodes, so you'd have like a string of 2 or 3 episodes. Now 20th Century Fox did release tapes of these 2 or 3-part episodes, beginning in January 96 with File 1, the unopened file. This was what really started it, the kind of popularity and the merchandising, because you could take this, you can buy it if you want it, you can watch it whenever you want. It's not like when you have to watch it on TV at 9 o'clock at night. Once you had this, it was yours, kind of thing. So, it's kind of hard to understand that nowadays, because most of these TV series you can buy anyway, or you can download them, whatever, you can watch them any time. But that wasn't the case, like I said. This is the artwork on the videotape. You can see as like a little advertisement. Some of the artwork on the inside, you would get this kind of thing. There was an advertisement for the Forensic Evidence box set, which I'm going to show you what that is in a minute. But that was a leaflet you would get. It was pretty standard with all these. I won't go into massive detail showing you what was inside each one and the artwork and stuff, but they're all very similar to that. But the next tape that came out was one called File 2. It was called Tombs. It was about a character who was pretty much a serial killer, but he used to eat people's livers and stuff. It was kind of gross. But again, you got artwork on the inside, and This is quite interesting going back. This video came out in 1996, and you got this postcard with it. It was advertising the upcoming film Independence Day. So I remember getting this tape as well, and thinking, what's that, Independence Day? What's all that about? But when this video I just showed you, when this was released in, I think it was March 96, the same day that was released, this box set that I showed you the advertisement for before, it's called the Forensic Evidence box set, came out the same day. It's kind of hard to get hold of. There were only 30,000 of these that were made, and as you can see, it has the XFiles logo on the front, and you get these little windows where, when you have the tapes, the artwork on it displays through those windows. Like I said, it was limited edition, only 30,000 of these, so I managed to get the last one on the shelf when I did buy it. I was lucky enough to get hold of it. And also with this, you got a tape with it as well. It wasn't just a box. You got this tape which was called Secrets of the XFiles, and it was like a kind of a behind-the-scenes making-of documentary about the characters and stuff. Kind of told you what had happened up to the end of series 2. The rest of the tapes that are in this box set was File 3, Abduction. That was about when Agent Scully got abducted. From memory, this one had the teaser trailer for Independence Day on it at the beginning, and I was like, whoa, that looks pretty cool. I was 15, you got to forgive me for that. You get a little leaflet with it just saying that one of the other tapes had been delayed from being released. I don't know why they did that, but... And then there was a leaflet advertising Sky TV as well. Like I say, you would see the X-Files a lot sooner on Sky than you would if you just waited for it to come on BBC 2. The next one that was supposed to come out was called File 4, and it was another two-parter from Series 2. I won't go into too much detail about the plot of it, but this was one that was delayed, so this one didn't come out until late 97. But I've put it in the box set because I've got them in order, so those are the tapes that you could put in this box set anyway. There was another box set that came out, that was this red one, and it was exactly the same kind of layout as the other one was. Like I say, you get the logo of the X-Files and the tapes. When you put them together, it makes that little display window thing there on that. The tapes that you got in this one, I'll just get out. The front bit comes off, like that. There was, with the box set, you got this more Secrets of the X-Files. It's similar to the other one where it was just Secrets of the X-Files. But this was a recap up to Series 3, kind of rehashed what they did with the other one. Then you would get File 5, which was called 82517, a bit of a cryptic name. More artwork in the middle, and the tape, obviously. You get these trading card. I got 2 of them for some reason. It was a trading card. Got a logo on the back. And another leaflet advertising some more stuff. By this point, they had started releasing the whole series in a box set, but like I say, it even says their recommended retail price £80. So kind of a rip-off, really. You wouldn't pay that really nowadays for just one season of something. I'm pretty sure you could buy all 9 seasons of the X-Files on DVD today a lot cheaper than £80, even in shops, brand new, So, and this was, like I said, these are 90s prices. What a rip. The next tape, in the continuity anyway, is this special edition. It's called Piper Maru. It was a 2-parter. This was only available through mail order, and there's no artwork on the inside of this one. It was just like a normal tape kind of thing. That wasn't available in the shops. You had to post off for it. File 6 was called Master Plan. This was the last episode of Series 3, the first 2 episodes, I think, of Series 4. Or was it just 1 episode? No, it was just 1 episode. The first episode of Series 4. And in this you get more leaflets, a little booklet thing there advertising some of the things that were available. I could go on through all these showing you the exact specifics of each one. I'm just going to have a speed round. Let's blitz through it. File 7 was Tunguska. That was a 2-parter from Series 4. Those are the only tapes that are in this box set anyway. After this, they didn't release any more of these forensic evidence box sets, as they call them. It's a bit of a shame because they do look quite nice when you put them all together. It'd be nice if they did another one that was a different colour, like green or whatever. File 8 was called Tempus Fugit, which is some kind of Latin phrase, something about time standing still. I think by this point they'd given up putting artwork on the inside. It was just white basically. You got a trading card with it again. It was like a trading card, that's what I would call it anyway, with some artwork on it. More leaflets, advertising stuff. File, I think they'd given up the file numbers at this, but no they hadn't, it says it on the side. File 9. So File 9 was called Redux, which was the last episode of Series 4 and the first 2 episodes of Series 5. Next one was File 10, which was called Emily, which was about Scully's abduction and kind of looking back on that. File 11, Patient X, this was back in Series 5 still, this was a 2-parter in Series 5. It was about more alien abduction stuff. File 12 was called The End. It was just 1 episode and there was a making of. This was the last episode of Series 5, so this one bridged the gap between the series and the film that was released in the summer of '98. There was a trailer for the film on there as well. But yeah, by this point they'd given up the file numbers, it was just whatever it was called. So File 12 was the last one that was numbered. So the next one was Dreamland. It was a comedy 2-parter with Michael McKean, where he switches bodies with Agent Mulder. It's kind of like it was a comedy one. By this point they'd made the film, and I think they were filming them in Hollywood, and it got a bit daft after I did the series. The next one was just called One Sun. They changed the artwork. All of the tapes, the other ones had like an X in the middle, like you can see on here. But the artwork from then on kind of just went a bit random. So this was a 2-parter from Series 6 called One Sun. The next one was called Biogenesis. This was the last episode of Series 6 and the first 2 episodes of Series 7. Then a 2-parter in Series 7 called Closure. I think that was the only 2-parter that they released in Series 7. The next video they released was called Millennium. This was a 1 episode. It had a couple of episodes from the series Millennium, which was like a spin-off of the X-Files that ended, and then they kind of had a couple of the characters from Millennium in the X-Files series. It was a crossover essentially, and this is the last 2 ever episodes of Millennium, and then the episode of the X-Files that had the guy from Millennium in it, Lance Henriksen. His character was called Frank Black. Series 8 now, we got on to Series 8 when Agent Mulder left the series and Robert Patrick's character came into it, Agent Doggett. That was the last episode of Series 7 and the first 2 episodes of Series 8. Then it moved on to DVD. There were a few different ones here. There was one called Providence, Existence and Nothing Important Happened Today. There's another one I think that came out before that as well, actually. What was it called? Dead Alive, that was another one from Series 8, I believe. I think some of these are from Series 9. I've got my copy of Dead Alive in the last DVD that they ever released, which was the last ever episode. Well, it was the last 2-parter called The Truth. And that was the end of Series 9, and those were the 2-parters that they all released. That's fairly complete. The next review I'm going to be showing you the DVDs that were available, and that are still available today, so if you want to watch the series and buy it, not just have the collectible versions, the next video is the one to watch. Thank you very much.
Unmarked helicopters hovering they said it was a weather balloon. 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 It was a weather balloon.